What's up? It's me back again, Analog Attack. How you all doing? Today I'm really happy to welcome Bill Chamberlain with me. How you doing, Bill?
Good, Mike. Good to be
Thank,
here.
thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Great T-shirt.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. We could sit here complimenting each other all night, but I've got so many things I want to talk to you about, and I know you've prepared some records, and we'll get to
Yep.
those later, right? But if you don't
Correct.
mind, before that, let's talk a little bit about some of the bands you've been in, because you've been in some really amazing bands. So if
Thank
you
you.
don't mind, talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that. Okay, so how far back in time do we need to go? Like early 90s, late 80s?
Well, okay.
New Haven, right?
I was kind of out of commission in the middle of the 80s.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then in the late 80s, I was in a band called TSS.
TSS.
We're kind of like thrashy.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what to compare it to. Maybe half DRI,
Wow.
half Descendants.
Wow. Did you have any recordings?
Just a tape.
Wow. TSS, man, it's the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was from New Haven, or
Yeah.
okay,
That was from 88, I
88.
think. Yeah.
That was the first band you played in,
Well, that was the first band that really did anything.
right?
I was in a band in 1982.
Wow.
We were called Metallica.
What?
And then this other band came out. And needless to say, we had to change our name.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So when you the other day, this is funny. We might as well do this now. The other day, I posted this record.
Yep.
Remember, and you said that you saw the
Kill them all for one.
the other Metallica.
Yeah. Yep.
On this tour, right?
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
a bit jealous of that. So.
It was such a good show. And you know, the way I heard of the real Metallica,
Yeah.
because we sucked.
Ah, really?
I was listening to this college radio station, and they played the Mechanics, the demo version of the Four Horsemen. And me and the bass player in the band, we were just like, this is incredible. And they said the name, and we're going, okay, we got to change our name.
That's incredible, Bill.
Get this. We changed our name to Death.
And then you changed it to Led Zeppelin?
Then we kind of fell apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
yeah,
a few hints here. That gives me the idea that you were kind of into heavy metal before you discovered hardcore punk. Is that right?
I was it was neck and neck. I was listening to Black Flag, Circle Jerks, Fear, Dead Kennedys. And then I was listening to Venom, Exciter,
cool,
Anvil, bands like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, pretty similar to me. Okay, so we started off with Metallica, then changed your names. What was the next band that you were in after that band?
After that band, we never actually had a name.
Okay.
And we ended up just being the drunkest, most sloppy. I don't even know what kind of music it was. It was some kind of punk metal something.
Yeah.
And we were not very good. So we were more concerned with getting wasted.
Okay.
And it sounded like it. I have a tape of that somewhere, just us at practice.
Wow.
And, yeah, it sounds similar to what some crust bands sound like now.
Okay. Well, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Pist, when does that come into play?
That was 92 we started.
I've got to show this album. Everybody loves this album, right? It's a classic,
Thanks.
right? Whenever I post
Yeah.
this, like everyone loves it. Like everyone loves this record.
Yeah.
You must be quite proud of this one, right?
Yeah.
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 Good record.
Yeah, it was, when we recorded that, I kind of remember getting done and we're in the car leaving the studio and I had a tape and I put it in and we started driving away and I was like, wow, this is not bad.
But was it like well received at the time? Were you like, because I'm trying to think, like, was it 1995, right? This LP came
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty well received. I think we saw a big leap in people who would come to see us once that album came out.
Right.
Yeah, we went from playing to, a lot of places we were playing to 20 people to, like, I forget how many people came to see us at Gilman in California, but it was packed.
Really? So who would you have been playing with around that time in the mid 90s? What other bands did you often play with?
Aus-Rotten all the time. Submachine.
Oh, they're a great band, right?
Yep. Blank 77. Anti-Flag. We played a show in a basement in Milwaukee that the band that opened was Anti-Flag.
Damn.
We played next. Submachine played next. And Blank 77 headlined. And there's about 20, 25 people there.
Wow. Yeah. That band Necrocedia, do you like them? They're a good band, right? That's from...
Yeah, I do. They're before I moved to Pittsburgh.
Sorry, it's a Pittsburgh band, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I have all their records. So.
That's a really good band. I remember getting that when it came out. It was like kind of like real hardcore punk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're moving a bit ahead of ourselves because you were in Broken with Jim Martin for a while too, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Jim's great.
Yeah, I love Jim. Yeah, it was fun. I think the way I got into Broken may have been that I had a van and I was volunteering to drive them to shows in New York or wherever. And at some point, I just ended up in the band. Yeah.
Brilliant. And you were
I was going anyways, right? So.
Right, yeah. And then you were in another band called Devastation, you said, with people from Deformed Conscience and Destroy 2, right?
Yeah, it was Pete, the drummer from Deformed Conscience. He was in there. He was the second drummer.
Okay.
Johnny, who was the drummer from Mankind.
Right.
And the singer for the band Seizure.
Oh, wow.
He was the first drummer.
Okay.
And we had Brendan from Blank 77 played bass. Nate, who was in Destroy, played guitar. I played guitar. Matt, who played bass in Behind Enemy Lines, and I think he played guitar in Parasitic.
Okay.
He sang.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great time. That band was fun.
And then you ended up moving to Pittsburgh, right? And then I've got to say it, you put out another. Yeah. This is a classic as well, I would say.
Yeah. That Caustic Christ was a really fun band to be in.
Yeah. And you hooked up with Habit Records, right, for this one?
Yes, yes. Felix treats bands fantastic.
I like the way that he always presses enough copies of everything. So
Yep.
like none of his releases ever become like really rare, which
Yeah.
some people think, wow, which kind of
I think when he ends up with way too many, he
Mm.
might regret it.
I prefer that way though, rather than that kind of.
Yeah.
It's always
I mean,
available.
times have changed
Yeah.
from when you could print 2,000 copies of something. Now 500 seems like it's a lot.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but that's a classic again. And then you were in Aus-Rotten for a little bit too, right?
Just like at the very
Right.
end,
Yeah.
like 5 shows or something.
Okay.
It's like my favorite band I got to be in for a little while. So that was cool.
Brilliant. And then Behind Enemy Lines, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Which was half of Aus-Rotten, and the other half was in Caustic.
Okay.
I was in both. Yeah.
And then at some point you moved to Philadelphia, right? Where you're living now, okay?
Yeah. We, I guess about 8 or 9 years ago, we moved to Massachusetts.
Okay.
And for 2 years, we lived in Massachusetts. I was in a band there that we never could think of a good name.
Slayer?
And we were playing shows. So we just called ourselves the Anarchy Boys, even though there's a band from China with that name.
Is there? Wow.
Yeah, but it was kind of a joke, but it was such a dumb name that, and people started calling us that. So, yeah, we only played a handful of shows and did a demo tape.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, who'd we play with? We played with like Arms Race and the Flex.
Oh, British band, right?
Yeah, all that new wave of British hardcore. We played with all them bands. Yeah.
People have got funny opinions about the Arms Race band. I think they're really good, but I don't know. Mixed, divided opinions. I think the LP is really good.
Yeah, I mean, I liked them.
Yeah, good band. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you open the record store, Bill? When was that?
2014.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was great. I had a great time. But I'm a punk. That's my cat. This is Percy.
Hello, Percy.
And it was never about money.
Right.
So rather than make more money, I would cut prices, and I'm just not a businessman.
Right.
I like music. I like my friends to have music. I like to give good music to the people. And, still managed to be open until the pandemic hit.
Right.
So, yeah. It was very difficult, though, at times, especially right before the pandemic. They tore down a bunch of buildings near our shop, and they didn't cap off the sewers, and rats started coming up everywhere. And then the landlord said he was going to raise the rent. And I was like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not staying here.
Right.
Now I sell records on Discogs out of my basement.
There you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of records, I think it's about that time, isn't it, Bill?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so maybe let's take it right back to the beginning, hey? Records that influenced you, got you into music.
Okay.
Kind of stuff. I'm really interested to see what you've got. for us?
Okay, so now a lot of this stuff is going to be average. We all have these records, and this is only A through D
Well,
because
we'll do
it was
A
just
through
too much.
another time. We'll
Yeah.
do a part 2.
So, except for one, I pulled out one that was really like the first record that got me into music. And,
Wow.
You know, and that's the Monkees.
The Monkees.
Yeah. I mean, it's people give them a hard time saying, "Oh, somebody wrote their songs and blah blah blah." They were put together, and so were the Sex Pistols, right?
Well, yeah.
So
when I was younger, their TV show, they had a TV show, right? It was kind of quite I used to enjoy watching that.
Yeah, it used to be on every day
Really?
when I got home from school.
Yeah.
I remember watching it every day.
Would that have been one of the first records you bought with your own like pocket money or whatever, something like that?
That's the first one.
The first one, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there wasn't any when I started getting serious about music, but there was Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, that's a great album.
It is, and if you notice, this is the one where he has his thumb sticking through there. So this is the band cover.
Oh wow! Did you buy that when it came out?
Yep, that's how it was when it came out, and they changed it and like airbrushed out his thumb. Yep,
so that was quite shocking back then.
Yeah. But what a great record!
It is great. It is really
that good. and all and not just Alice Cooper, but all those Detroit bands.
Yeah.
You got Alice Cooper, and you got MC5 and the Stooges, and all that stuff is stuff that I loved. So
yeah, good stuff.
Go to the next record. Now we start getting a little bit more. We got.
Ooh, yeah. That's like the original too, right?
It is the original, yeah.
Yeah.
And this record is just so good.
It's funny,
like you said, no metal, no funk, no death.
yeah.
Hardcore Swedish punk rock.
See, that's my favorite anti-Semitic record. But there's a lot of people who are like, they won't go that far, right? It's only about the early singles, but I think they kind of perfected their sound on that record. Just in my opinion.
You could hear, you could hear this sound go straight on into Wolfpack.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic. I love that.
That got banned, right? Because of the Absolute Vodka. When they reissued it, they had to like cover up.
Yeah. Let's see. I got it right here.
Yeah, I think that's been reissued a few times now, actually, if I remember rightly. That's it. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one I've got at the moment too. Yeah. Classic.
Great stuff. Another U.S. band, which I think had a huge influence on bands like Tragedy.
Oh.
It's Anti-Schism.
That's the discography.
This is the discography. Yeah.
I bought that recently. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That's Prank Records, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the covers, I don't know if you could see it, but it's embossed,
right? Yeah.
And everything.
That's another label, Prank. He presses enough and takes a lot of care with his releases. Really.
Yeah.
Labors of love.
Did he put out some fantastic records or what?
Yeah.
Talitar albums and
I guess with Prank, some of his stuff has gotten a little rare because they would like really in demand, I think. But he always pressed enough, I think.
Yeah.
Would you would have played with that band, right? Back in the day.
What about them?
Did you play with them?
I never played with them. I saw them once.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right.
But okay. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, I have that just above my head. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen this band more than any other band.
Yeah.
I would, if they were playing within 8 hours of where I lived on a weekend, I would go see them. Back in the day, in the 90s.
They were kind of a really important band, right, at that time for the punk scene. And DIY punk scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. And you won't meet better people either. So, yeah. I cannot say enough about Aus-Rotten and everybody in the band. It's fantastic people.
Still friends to this day, right?
What's that?
You're still friends to this day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people have arguments and whatever sometimes, but yeah. I mean, they're fantastic people. Yeah.
Do you keep your Alice Cooper and your Aus-Rotten like in the same section, like the A section?
I do. I used to have a split up rock, punk, garage, metal, but my wife does a radio show.
Okay.
And she just likes to have everything in alphabetical order. That way, for her radio show, she doesn't pick too much of one genre.
Right.
That seems fair to me.
It's once you start dividing up, it's like, where does it stop,
Yeah.
It's like, because there's so many micro genres now, right? It's like, it's kind of tough.
Yep.
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, good enough for me.
Easy to find, right?
Yep. Next record I'm really psyched for.
Oh, okay.
My favorite Japanese record of all time.
Oh, favorite Japanese record of all time, beginning with A. Abradako Acid?
It doesn't begin with A.
B. Bastard. Okay, there you go.
The pain.
Yeah.
This record, when I bought this, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
I think I was expecting Gizm or something.
Okay, yeah.
And this is just, Gizm's great, but Bastard was tight.
Well, the drumming is incredible.
Yeah. And every song has hooks like you wouldn't believe. Great guitar playing. And the way he sings and he like hits those points just to hammer the point home.
Yeah.
It's like, it blew my mind. This record right here. I mean, it's kind of the last Whipped Cream album is almost on this level too. Yeah.
I saw them not long after that record came out a couple of times in Japan.
Yeah.
And when that came out, I was doing like the MCR company. That isn't on MCR company, but I was selling that record and people were going crazy. I had to keep ordering more and more and more. Like everyone loved that record. It really stood out from the rest at that time.
Yeah.
The production as well, it's just so huge sounding.
I remember thinking to myself, they're a punk band. There's no confusing that this band is like a metal band or anything.
Right.
You know it, but it has that production.
I think, I'm not sure.
It serves them like it's perfect.
And it's not very Japanese sounding. It's kind of more UK influenced, I would say. And I think they were really into like that a bit later era Verucas and maybe even like the kind of
Sacrilege a little bit.
That kind of thing. Yeah, it was not very Japanese sounding, I would say. Which made it unique as well.
Yep.
It's a great record.
It is. Ready for my next one?
I certainly am. Well,
let's see what I got here.
We're on the bees now.
Okay. We got the big boys.
The big boys.
I mean,
Texas.
Some big boys records are more hardcore than others. Some have more funk than others, but every big boys record is awesome. And this one, just something about it. It's not the most hardcore record, but the songs on it are just, I mean, Identity Crisis just it is my favorite Big Boys song. That's probably why this is my favorite Big Boys record. But yeah, just them talking about how a big record label wanted to sign them and trying to turn them against each other. And they were like, well, fuck you. Like a band after my own heart, you know?
That must have been quite something back in those days with the Big Boys and the Dicks and all those bands down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, Texas has put out some fantastic bands.
Offenders.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next. First hardcore band I ever saw.
First. Oh, nice. That's an original too, right?
Yeah, both of these.
Wow.
Got the anti-parent sticker. Yeah.
Were you okay with Henry Rollins at the time? You weren't one of these people who was like,
well, see, I heard both of these about the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I actually got them at exactly the same time.
Right.
So I didn't know, you know, I mean,
right.
Chavo's singing on this and Rollins is singing on this. I thought Rollins was better. I still think Rollins was better.
Yeah.
I tell you, when I saw him, still, I've never seen a band like Black Flag in 1982 or whenever it was. I think it was 82.
Wow.
Yeah.
They 82. What album was out in 82? That one, right?
It was, I think they were touring on the Everything Went Black. It was just the gray album with 4 bars on it.
That was the first Black Flag thing I ever heard, actually, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what that might have been the 83 tour too. But I mean, so they toured on no new stuff because of the record label problems they had. But I mean, that was the only time I went to punk shows, and besides the Clash, where there was thousands of people.
Right.
And it was Black Flag, Bad Brains, Minutemen, Meat Puppets.
Pretty good lineup.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And it was Bad Brains was different because I had heard maybe 1 or 2 Bad Brains songs. So I was just expecting Sailing On and, you know, super fast hardcore, and they came out and did like 5, 6 songs like that, and then started playing reggae, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I didn't see them till like the mid to late 80s in England, but they came on and played like 2 or 3 reggae jams before they even.
Wow.
Yeah. It's still great. But
yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, I'm gonna move on. Okay. I don't know what's next. Oh, my favorite album title of all time.
B C.
Oh. Black Randy and the Metro Squad.
Okay.
Pass the Dust. I think I'm Bowie. Yep. I mean, just for the album title alone, this is great.
Amazing.
And the record's not bad either.
It's pretty good.
Wow. All right. Now we got, I almost thought about stopping right here.
Okay.
Almost. Because This record, I mean, it changed life, changed music.
Yeah.
And I mean, it needs to be talked about, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Nothing like that had happened before.
Yeah. I mean, there was heavy bands. There was loud bands. There was Blue Cheer. But the Black Sabbath was its own thing.
Yeah.
Nobody else did that. And this is not the first Black Sabbath record that I ever got.
Oh, mine was Heaven and Hell Bill. That was the first one I actually bought with my own pocket money. But I had all the others on tape and stuff. But
Master of Reality, that's the first one I got. Nice. I have a funny story about this too.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I was 11. My dad had just died. That's not the funny part. But my mom took us to the shore. And she's like, okay, so we got a cottage. We're going to stay on the beach for 2 weeks. There was a record store right down the street.
Oh.
And in the cottage at the time, this was the 70s. So in the cottage, there was a record player. And I said to my mom, I'm like, hey, Mom, can I have a little bit of money to go buy a record or two? And she gave me $10.
Right.
And I bought this.
You bought that?
Bought this without, all I knew is it said Black Sabbath. And I was like, this has got to be scary.
And it was, right?
Yeah. The other record I bought with this was a Grateful Dead record.
Okay. Wow. How
I figured Grateful Dead. That's got to be scary too.
Wasn't too scary though, right?
No.
In a different way.
I put this on. I was blown away.
How old were you, Bill, when you bought that?
11.
11.
I was 11. Yeah. And I was just like, this is the best thing in the world. You know?
11. I think I was 1 or 2 years older when I first heard Black Sabbath, but I do remember just being actually a little bit frightened, actually. Because I'd heard other heavy metal, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
After that, when I put on the Grateful Dead record, I was like, what is this country music?
Which Grateful Dead album was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Oh.
But I know that I have never bought another Grateful Dead record.
That was an important day, wasn't it? That day when you went to that record shop?
Yes, very.
Right? Yeah.
My next Black Sabbath record that I want to talk about is the Black Sabbath record that gets some love, but I think it is the most underrated Black Sabbath record.
Okay.
And it's Heaven and Hell.
Yeah.
This is better than some Ozzy Sabbath records.
I think so. For me, at this time in my life, I tend to pull that one out more than some of the Ozzy ones.
Yeah.
But I think at the time it was quite not shocking, but it was so different than the Black Sabbath that had come before.
Yeah, it was like a modernized Sabbath.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think people that had grown up with Black Sabbath, that was really hard to take, I think.
Yeah. And plus Ozzy came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Which was neither of them really sounded like Sabbath, I don't think.
No.
Not classic Sabbath anyways.
No.
But I went to see Ozzy. I was at the first show of the first Ozzy tour. Now he had played here with his band, but he didn't do a full US tour.
Right.
And the same with his opening act, which his opening act was a band that I had heard of, never heard. The opening band was Motorhead.
Oh.
I went and I was standing in front. and Motorhead came out, and I was like, this is incredible.
That would have been what year? 80?
80, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it was Ace of Spades for Motorhead.
Oh man, the peak. You could say their peak, but
yeah, I mean, it was. Ozzy was great, but without ever having heard Motorhead, I was all about Motorhead after that. It was just like I remember at the end of the Motorhead show going, "Can this get any better?" And all of a sudden, I see all these lights shift right above my head because I'm in the front row. And I look up, and this bomber plane starts coming out of the ceiling down on top of us. It's like, it was great.
So jealous. I was like,
and you know that the cover of No Sleep Till Hammersmith.
Yes, yeah.
That's
like
what
that.
It was incredible.
One of the bands I just never got a chance to see back at that time, unfortunately.
I saw their 5th to last U.S. show.
Okay.
I still had a good time, but you could tell Lemmy was sick.
Yes.
And
I saw them in Japan too. I don't know, like 10, 12 years ago. It was really, really good, but it was kind of sluggish. But I mean, what do you expect, I suppose? But still really good though. Better than most bands, even then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready for my favorite Sabbath album now?
I am. I'm dying to see what it is. I'm kind of trying. I can guess actually, but I'm not going to. South Bloody Sabbath.
Okay, so when I finally got to see Sabbath, like the first time I saw him, our ride something happened. The car broke down. We got there. We missed half of Sabbath's set. And it was Sabbath. It was Ted Nugent and Black Sabbath. And we missed all of Ted Nugent and half of Sabbath. So I didn't know whether they played the song I wanted to hear or not. But on Technical Ecstasy tour and Never Say Die tour, they opened with it.
Good choice.
Something with the Universe. You can't have a better opening song. Even Doom would open with it, right?
yeah. They did a good cover of that song there.
That's like one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Yeah. I like the end too when it goes into that slow part. I've always loved that as well.
I mean, this whole album is fantastic.
It's really different, right, to what came before it. They were really experimenting a lot on the album.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah, it does.
Great record.
Great stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's it for my Sabbath.
Okay.
Now my their first album got warped. Okay. And I don't know what I did with it. I would have showed you the cover, but it's Blitz. Voice of a Generation got destroyed somehow.
Ooh.
So, but I got most of the songs on All Out Attack. Yeah. And this is great too.
Yeah, that's a real divider, that one. I think people are coming around to it a little bit more these days.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back. It's not quite as post-punk as the one before it. It goes a little bit back towards the Voice of a Generation, but not quite. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I learned how to play guitar a lot to Blitz.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Blitz and Sabbath. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with those two.
Yeah. All right, now I got another couple pair that was massive influence on me, and I think on music in general.
All right.
You got Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, Hunky Dory.
Yeah, I've got both of those two as well. Fantastic.
Yeah. Both of these are just, I mean, I even named my record store after a song on here.
Oh, what's the name of the store?
It was called Wild Mutation.
Oh, okay.
Like in Star.
Yeah.
Makes a wild mutation to a rock and roll star.
Wow.
Yeah. So Bowie is just, this for 4 or 5 albums there. Bowie's tough to beat.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
There's certain eras of certain bands that just reached such a high point that it's like, Bowie had that, Sabbath had that, the Kinks had that.
Yeah. What do you think of Scary Monsters, Bill? Do you like that album?
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm more of a
that run of 70s albums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like some of the Berlin Trilogy albums. But yeah, it's like if Mick Ronson's playing guitar, it's awesome. Right. Yeah.
Was he a big influence on your guitar playing as well?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Have you ever heard Rano?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, when we're done, you should go on YouTube.
Okay.
Look up Rano, Ronno.
All right.
Power of Darkness.
Okay.
And just listen to that guitar riff.
I will.
Yeah. It's
and I'll report back to you.
Yeah. It's great. It's really great. Another album that really, really loves The Boys.
The Boys, right? Yeah. Yeah.
This is fantastic stuff. It's like I'm all over the place as far as what I listen to, as I think you are as well.
Yeah, I like all these records that you've shown so far.
Yeah,
we're on the same page. I like the Boys. The Peel Sessions is a really good record. Do you have that?
I do not have that.
Good one. Yeah.
I have this, and I have the Naughty Boys, which is, and I have I forgot what the album's called after this. But yeah. So I have 3 of those. Great stuff. Oh. Those 2 belong in the bargain bin section.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right, here's a band I used to go see. There's a Long Island Sound. These guys were from right across the sound from me. It's really like 15 miles away or something. But Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes.
These 3.
The Black and White Trilogy.
Yeah, it's hard to beat this.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I still listen to it.
Me too.
Often, which is kind of hard to believe because I've been listening to this stuff since I was like 12 or 13.
There's certain things that never get old, that they just sound as good to me now as they did like back when I first heard them. Black Sabbath, Oyster Cult, Pink Floyd, all that stuff.
Yep. When I first heard that riff for Cities on Flame, it was like hearing Iron Man or Smoke on the Water.
That's a pretty heavy riff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great stuff. Yeah.
Although my favorite Blue Oyster Cult album is Fire Unknown Origin, which might be a bit.
Yeah, I like that too, and I have it, but these 3.
Those 3. Yeah. It's hard to pick a favorite, really.
I have. I don't know how many Blue Oyster Cult albums I have. It's got to be like 12.
I think I go up to like. Yeah, I think Fire Unknown Origin is my cutoff point, I think.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to their? They put out like a rock opera type of album. It was supposed to be It was okay. I have it, but there's something about when you have albums this good.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, It's like the only band that I continued to listen to with glee each new album for like 20 albums was Motorhead.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the last Motorhead album.
It's really good. I actually kind of lost track when I got in. I kind of lost track, but so I had to kind of go back to a certain point, and then I bought every record when it came out after Inferno, I think, because that was a really good one, right? Inferno.
It was great, yeah.
So after that, I bought every new one as it came out.
Yeah.
Inferno was the best one, though, I think, of that last bunch.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
Yeah.
Terminal Show, is that the first song on that?
Steve Vai is on that.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna see what's next here. Oh yeah. Okay. I just picked the singles record because how can you go wrong with Broken Bones?
Oh, I've not seen that actually.
Yeah, it's Havoc Records.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's like it's got the Decapitated. It's got all the singles on here.
Right. Wow, cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love this.
Great band.
It's like you can hear, well, I can hear when Discharge kind of stopped being Discharge. This was Discharge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good band.
Yeah, that's great. All right. One of my all-time favorite kind of melodic punk records ever.
Oh, yeah. Man, I've got almost every one of these. It's great.
Yeah.
I
mean, this is fantastic. I love the Buzzcocks. For a while there, I didn't get into the Buzzcocks. I don't know what my problem was. It was something in my head where it's like, Buzzcocks.
I see what you're saying. Actually, kind of me too. It's a little bit. Well, also it's really poppy, but
yeah. I mean, you could hear that Green Day was influenced.
Yeah.
So, but it's great stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
What else do we got? Oh, here we go. A great melodic hardcore punk band. One of the only bands from the U.S. ever to be on No Future Records. Channel 3.
That's a great band. Channel 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting. They were on No Future, right?
Yeah. This is Fear of Life, the original, not I've Got a Gun, which they later named it as.
Is that the same record, but just with that's the original?
Yeah, it's just a different title.
Didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I've Got a Gun. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great stuff. Oh, here we go. I'm getting psyched as I look through these records.
Yeah, I'm like, what's he going to pull out next?
Okay, so we all love KSUK, right?
Of course, yeah.
I think everybody has their own KSUK album that they're really into.
Yeah.
People are into the earliest KSUK stuff. Like actually, I saw Jim Martin posted a bunch of KSUK stuff today. Great stuff. The early singles and everything.
Yeah.
Some people are into the more thrashy stuff. But me, the stuff that I like the best.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's like mid-pace punk rock.
I'm trying to follow the timeline there. Was that era of Chaos
90s?
UK? Was that era of Chaos UK kind of a big influence on the Pittsburgh punk scene?
I think so. Yeah.
kind of
90.
hardcore punk, you know, like.
Yeah. For sure.
Mm.
Yeah. And I love this record. It's tuneful, yet it's hardcore, yet it's like bouncy, pogo-y type stuff. Yeah. And you know, maybe it's just in my head, but I think I can hear a little bit of Reagan Youth in there too, you know.
Could be. Hang on, wasn't Vic wasn't in the, was he in the band? He wasn't,
Yeah.
right, at that point.
Yep.
New York.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that. I love all KFUK, but I love that.
Did you see him when he went to the
Head
States?
on the Pole 7-inch.
That's a good one, right? On Desperate Attempt Records.
Yeah, that's great stuff. All right. Back to something that's not punk.
Okay.
But just as good. Cheap Trick.
Classic.
Isn't it though? I mean, every song on here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just every song on this record. It's great.
Yeah, I like the first 5, 6 Cheap Trick albums. They're all amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Some of it's pretty heavy too, actually, when you think about it.
It is, yeah. And like when they get into Dream Police, that riff for Dream Police, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want some early Connecticut hardcore punk rock.
Oh, CIA.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think Jim talked about them a bit when I talked to him.
Pretty great stuff. I mean, it's before my time, but great stuff. I was too busy doing some other stuff.
Okay.
I got in a lot of trouble when I was a kid.
Okay.
I wasn't around for a little while.
All right.
Yeah. Next, we got Circle Jerks, Group Sex, a record that everybody has, but there's a reason everybody has it. This is great. And the sound quality on this record, you just put this record against any other record, and the sound quality of this, the volume level, it's phenomenal. It's
I didn't know that. I only had it on tape for years, and a few years ago I got a copy on vinyl finally, and you're right, it does sound amazing.
It does. And it's not like it's overproduced or anything. It just sounds fantastic.
Yeah. And it's like, how long is it? It's like under 20 minutes long, right?
Yeah. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14 songs.
14 songs.
They're all probably a minute and a half long.
Yeah, or less, even less maybe.
They're all fast.
Yeah, but catchy, right? Really memorable.
Yeah. The Pist used to cover some of this.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. We did Deny Everything, Operation. Yeah. I think we did World Up My Ass. And I think we tried to do Red Tape, but we couldn't quite pull it off at the time. Yeah. All right, so now some late 80s, early 90s New York hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
Citizens Arrest.
Yeah.
Fantastic band.
Yeah. Important band at that time.
First time I met the singer, he said, "Oh, come see my bands." 2 bands he was playing in, and so we went to see him at ABC No Rio, and it was Citizens Arrest
Yeah.
opening up,
Yes.
Born Against headline.
Wow.
Sang in Citizens Arrest and played drums in Born Against.
Well, I didn't know that. That's Daryl, right?
Yeah.
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 Wow, I didn't know he was in Born Against.
To be in two bands of that quality at the same time, something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Another of my favorite Japanese records.
See? Yeah.
Comes.
Unbelievable. With the bassist and guitarist from Lip Cream.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I love this stuff.
That's the original, right?
Yeah.
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 Being reissued recently by Paco. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Gauze and I love Gizm, but Tom's Lip Cream, Bastard. Yeah. Stalin.
Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
Another great sounding record as well.
It is. It really is. I mean, that's one thing that I really have to hand it to a lot of Japanese bands. They really know how to play.
Yeah.
And knew how to record. And, I mean, quality stuff.
Yeah, it kind of pushed them to a kind of higher level.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely. Yeah, when you hear that kind of stuff, it's like kind of up the game, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the UK.
Oh, that's a great one.
Venus Envy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple songs that musically I think are great, but the lyrics and what they had to say on this record is just as relevant now as it was then.
Yeah.
And just as important now as it was then.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, Penny Rimbaud may be a vaccine denier now, but yeah, this is still pretty important.
There's a Japanese pressing of that one, Bill. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. It's like Rough Trade Japan. It's got
really
Obi and everything on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just regular.
That's the best one to have, the original UK one, but there is a Japanese one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the reissue of the Gizm record?
I bought it actually. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm not an audiophile or anything. I think there's some slight differences between that and the original.
Yeah.
A little bit of guitar compression, maybe.
Yeah. I have my thoughts too about that. While I really appreciate that little bit of noise is gone that's on the original.
Yeah.
You're right. Everything's compressed now, and it's not as wild sounding.
Doesn't jump out at you as like the original does.
Yeah, I don't care that
they put a little bit of a modern day gloss over it, kind of, which is a thing these days. It's probably digitally messed about with, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they tried really hard to make it sound better.
I mean, I don't know what they were working with. If they were working with like the original tapes, I don't know. Probably not, right? I don't know. Yeah.
You never know. They may have had to work off of an original record.
It's possible. Or that one of the CD reissues, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure they did the best job they could do. I know that they, Brad Boatwright did that, right? I think.
Somebody told me, and they told me to keep it a secret. Yeah. I'm not gonna. Someone told me that it was Joel from Toxic Holocaust that did like.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was.
But
maybe it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been the Zoa one or the SHI. I forget.
Yeah. I mean, whoever did it, they did it. I think they did it with love in their hearts for the music,
sure.
for the record, and they tried to get it to be its best possible thing, and it's not noisy anymore.
No. But you know, I think it's good that it's out there for a new generation of people, and it's affordable. Anyone can get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I know a bunch of people were on about
the Obi.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't care that the swastika is covered up. I really don't.
Well, actually, I know why that happened. Like originally, they thought that there's a story to it why that Obi is there.
Yeah.
So I think originally they were going to airbrush the swastika out of the artwork with no Obi or something, and then but they ended up actually it's on there, right? But so they put that Obi over it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not a big.
It is what it is.
It's not a big deal.
No, it's like a fake Obi, you know.
Yeah. I think it looks kind of cool, actually. But
yeah, it does. It does. I mean,
okay, Bill. What you got next?
All right. The record that I think has the best talking in between songs. I mean, the guy called the cops on himself for having the show.
I remember hearing that for the first time and just being absolutely blown away, being confused by it as well, actually, as a young person.
Yeah. But, a couple months ago, I got in the mail, along with some other people around the country, at least. I don't know about in other countries, but we got a mailing from, it was supposed to be from Doc Dart.
Wow.
Hey, thanks for joining the Doc Dart fan club.
Did you actually join the Doc Dart fan club?
I just got it in the mail. I didn't
have now without knowing. Wow.
I was trying to figure out, did I sign up for this? I mean, I love Christmas, dude, you know? But no, I didn't. And then I started hearing, so and so got one, this guy got one, and so there was a bunch of us that got them. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting fellow.
Yes.
One of a kind.
For sure. I want to move on to this next record, Mike. This record is, I'm going to put it together.
Can't guess what it is, actually. Just see bits of yellow.
This record is a record by a band that the Pist was on tour in '93. Never heard of these guys. I had written to this guy, traded records with him, but Los Crudos. These guys don't ever be in a band and have Los Crudos play before you. Ever. These guys were something else. I was blown away. They had nothing out. It was their first 7-inch record release show.
Right.
And I was blown away. And that, the Los Crudos 7-inch and then this LP are just, I still listen to these all the time. Great stuff. Passionate, hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish, but I can pick up words here and there, so I can kind of get the vibe of what songs are about.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it's important, vibrant, incredible, meaningful hardcore punk.
It's funny, every now and again you'll sort of see people say that like the 90s wasn't a very good time for hardcore punk, but that's not the case at all. There's so many good bands.
It's not the case at all.
Not the case at all.
Did not that now is not great because it is, or 2000 through 2010 or whatever wasn't great because it was, but the 90s, it's almost like there was a camaraderie that is missing with a lot of the bands now.
Right.
Back then, there was everybody knew we're in this together, do this together. That's how it was. And you lived by those principles.
Right.
And I really appreciated it, and I still do. And
I think maybe people didn't appreciate it at the time, but now in retrospect, they're like, "Oh God, the 90s was such a special time."
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I'm from Connecticut, which is one of the smallest states in the country. It's 4 million people in the entire state.
Wow.
But you had at our time in the 90s, you had Malachi Crunch, which was Jim Martin's band.
Yep.
Had Deformed Conscience. Was Dissension. There was Brutally Familiar. There was The Pist, Mankind, Revolt.
Right.
This is a tiny scene. So it was pretty good,
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of us were in the same bands, but it was great.
Yeah.
And I was kind of part of the more punky punk part of the scene. And Deformed Conscience, and then we like that crusty. We all crossed over.
Right.
So, yeah.
And
those guys in Deformed Conscience were awesome guys, and obviously Jim.
Yeah.
So, it was great. I really enjoyed that time.
And that Bastard record came out in the 90s too, right? So
a
lot of good records.
My mother called me the other day and she said, my sister found my box of records that when I moved at one point, I said, can I put these boxes of records in your garage? And it was my distro from 94, 93, 94, maybe 95, but right in there. My sister's thing, there's like 10 of these Death Side records in here. So I got those waiting for me.
That's interesting because you couldn't sell them, right?
No.
Right?
No.
I had
I had 10 left over.
I had exactly the same situation. I was doing the distribution in the 90s. People were not interested. I couldn't even give them away, actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I had all the Lip Cream albums as well, and it was really, really hard to sell them.
Yeah.
I mean, they were expensive, compared to domestic or European records. That was one of the hurdles.
I feel like if it wasn't Gauze or Gizm, maybe Confused, people just didn't want.
Well, that Bastard one was an exception, and that band SDS single also was another one. But other stuff was really.
That's another great record.
It's too metally, or it's too weird, or just give me like Gauze or Bastard or.
Yeah.
But there were some people that would buy everything, but it was really hard to sell those records. So I totally understand that you had those Death Side records left over.
I can tell you who was buying all of those records that I had. Was Jim Martin.
There you go.
He bought all of whatever Japanese record I had, he bought.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
They go for a lot of money now.
Yeah.
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 Ready for my next one?
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Classic.
Yes.
And this is a new pressing, yellow vinyl. My old copy was just worn out.
Classic.
Yeah.
Really fast, right? Really fast for the time.
Yeah, and the sound on this record is like, it's like, when I first heard it, it didn't quite click in as later on, once hardcore came out. And I had been listening to hardcore for a while, and I went back and listened to the Damned record, and I was like, this is like more burly than a lot of hardcore records.
Absolutely. It's so different to like the Sex Pistols and the Buzzcocks and the Clash, and it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's like you can kind of tell why Lemmy loves those guys too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some Swedish stuff a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They are one of the best like disc bands of that era, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, this was great. And these guys became Meanwhile.
Yeah. And they've all played in a bunch of other bands too. Again, but
yeah, great stuff.
Nuclear Blast signed them up for that record, right? Big label.
What's that?
Nuclear Blast put that out. Big label. It's kind of weird at the time. I think people were kind of surprised that Nuclear Blast had put that record out. Maybe they got a little bit of criticism. They should have been on a more DIY label.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go completely off the wall.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Some hip hop.
Oh,
The Coup.
Not familiar with that one.
Epitaph put out one of their records. This is on Anti. Did you see that movie, Sorry to Bother You?
No, I haven't seen it, but no.
Okay, but this guy, he is, there's a song on here called The Guillotine. It's pretty inspiring. Yeah.
Wow.
A few of the people in this group are no longer around.
Okay.
But the main guy is still around. And I think he's a movie director now. And he's written some movies.
Cool.
Yeah. Great stuff. And it's like hip hop, punk.
Wow.
Maybe with a little bit of ska in there too. Anti-Flag is on one of their songs. I don't know if it's on this. It's not on this album, but Anti-Flag made it worse. They're better than Anti-Flag.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's it for those. I mean, I still have all the Discharge records.
That's the recent box set, right?
Yeah, the box set. Which, hey, I guess you don't have this?
I don't. No.
It's pretty nice. Open it up. book, visual history,
Cool.
Discharge.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's lots of cool flyers, gig flyers in there. Great stuff.
And then what does it have? Like, it has all the singles and
yeah, it's got all the singles. It's got this 7-inch.
Wow.
Which has So Where's Our Fucking Freedom? Which is, I haven't opened this yet.
Okay.
But apparently this is an old song.
Previously unreleased?
Yeah. It's got a nice big poster.
Wow.
It's got it's like it's got all the singles up to Stay Violent, Stay Control.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. And then it has live in Detroit.
Wow.
And live at the 100 Club in London.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's a really nice package.
Can never have too many Discharge records.
Yeah, that was the question. How many Discharge records is too many Discharge records? I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can have too many.
No, it's not possible.
You know, we got Live at City Gardens.
Yep.
Live The Nightmare Continues. The singles.
Right.
This is the one I listen to all the time because it's got all the singles.
I've got that one too, yeah.
Yeah. The best punk record of all time.
Oh, interesting.
The album.
Yeah, that's my personal favorite, actually.
I love this. The Never Again 12-inch.
That was a weird one. They kind of slightly did a little bit of a remix, right, on all the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have everybody I know has the Never Again 7-inch. And the more I see 12-inch,
yeah.
I have the Never Again 12-inch, and the more I see 7-inch. And then more current Discharge, which is
not bad. I like the self-titled from 2000 with Cal back doing his old vocal style. That's a pretty good one, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Desensitized.
Yeah, I think I have that one. That's with Rat singing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then with the new guy singing.
Yeah. His voice is pretty close to Cal's old voice.
Yeah, you know who else I think his voice is close to? Jim Martin's.
Well, there you go.
Tonally, I think they're really similar.
So if that guy, for whatever reason, quits the band, we know who can take his place.
Yeah.
Jim Martin.
I think Jim would be perfect for Discharge.
Yeah. Good idea,
yeah.
Bill, I think just for constraints of time, I know you've prepared like a lot of more records, but I have an idea. We're going to do the bargain bin records, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to do one too. So how about we do that together in the next episode? What, you in?
I'm in.
Right? We'll do it together. You got 6 singles or LPs in your stack? Both?
I have in my stack, I just have 2 LPs and a bunch of singles.
Okay. I'll get a bunch more ready and then we'll do a bargain bin episode together.
But I have more LPs I can put aside too.
Let's do that.
You tell me what you want.
I think that'll be a really good episode. I'm a little bit tired of doing those by myself, so it'd be good to have a partner to do it with. Okay.
All right.
So, while we got through A to D, right, today?
A to D, yeah. Maybe we could do another one where I talk about new records that are
that's another
awesome.
one. That's another one we'll do. Yeah. We could do that together too.
Awesome.
Right. Thanks for joining me, Bill. I had a good time. Hope you enjoyed it too.
I did very much, Mike. Thanks for asking me.
Thanks a lot. See you soon. So, everybody, until next time, stay healthy and stay clean.